I'm Joe Seelig.
I'm Savannah Dimmick.
And I'm Lane Fisher.
And coming to you live from the Treehouse Studio, this is
Crossfire.
Today on Crossfire, we will be discussing the three dictators and who had the greatest impact on World War II.
Alright, I'm going to be arguing that Tojo was the most influential dictator during World War II. And that's primarily because he brought the U.S. into the war by bombing Pearl Harbor. And we have a historically accurate rendition of this. And he was trying to avoid a war with America, but he brought America into World War II and made it way bigger. He was also responsible for opening hostilities with China, and he nearly destroyed Japan in his quest for power for his country.
I completely disagree with Savannah. I think Stalin had the biggest impact in World War II. He was the dictator for the Soviet Union and transformed a peasant society into industrial and military superpower and killed millions.
Oh, what is this? Mein Kampf? Hitler's book? Hit it, guys. 6 million Jews he killed. In the Department of Public Speaking, he's skilled. Some call him basic, but he's really not. Gonna take over the world, is what he thought.
We were having some minor technical difficulties. Tojo bombed the treehouse and it burned down.
Oh, look
So
out.
obviously he's the most influential dictator.
No.
Because he did a lot of pretty awesome and also really terrible stuff.
Awesome is what you're going with.
We let
I
me argue
think
here.
Stalin killed the most people by far.
Okay, who does anybody talk about? Nobody's like, oh, you just got Stalin. Like, people are talking about Hitler. He's the most prevalent today.
And Stalin even led after World War II.
Yeah, but only because the U.S. was allies with them and they didn't want to deal with him.
But Tojo was convicted of so many war crimes. Like, he was so influential because he committed so many, like, horrible crimes. He inhumanely treated the POWs. He waged wars of aggression and wars against violent countries and violated international law. He waged unprovoked war against China and waged aggressive war against Britain, the Netherlands, and France.
Tojo was deemed, like, clinically insane. None of that could ever be valid.
It's not... What he did isn't valid because he's crazy.
Yeah. Something like that.
What about Hitler?
Hitler was totally with it. Hitler knew what he was doing.
He killed himself. He was
Hitler
mentally
literally
ill.
took the worst country ever and he brought it up to the top of the world. He pretty much took over the world until he got to Russia. And then he didn't. But that was kind of a side note.
So you're supporting Lane?
No.
So Stalin's the best.
Lane's totally wrong. Lane is wearing a football sweatshirt. She's never even been on a football field.
Number 9. See, like...
So, no. Again, Hitler, definitely the most prevalent.
But obviously Tojo's the best because he brought the U.S. into the war, and we all know that the U.S. is an awesome world superpower.
And Stalin led the longest out of anyone, even having power after the war, which led to the Cold War, which he was still leader there.
But Japan is a tiny island with nothing, and Russia is a huge country, and Japan still managed to take over a ton of land because of Tojo's leadership.
Hitler took a group of people, an entire nation, convinced them to hate another group of people for seemingly no reason at all, and it worked. No reason at all. You just like, hey, hate these guys, everything's their fault. And it worked.
We are in Siberia at a concentration camp that Stalin has sent us, and we are starving and thirsty, and
Contrary to what Lane just told you, Hitler has sent us to this concentration camp where millions of other people like us are starving day in and day out and treated poorly just because of our beliefs and values.
You can decide for yourself who the worst dictator was, but don't forget that Tojo brought the U.S. into the war and bombed Pearl Harbor.
And don't forget that Hitler murdered 6 million innocent people.
But lastly, don't forget, Stalin starved his own people.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap.